Alright everybody, we're back after like 2 days to Sky Factor 2.5, and I'm sorry about the lack of videos. I did a couple days of streaming, maybe like 3 people showed up, and I haven't really been actively doing much on here in the last few days. I've been taking care of some outside the game things, and had a couple days of work, and I have to work tomorrow also, but I figured I would make a quick video here to show off a few things that I did on the last stream, which I haven't done the review for yet, so that'll be now, and also a couple of little tips and pointers for you guys to tide you over until I do a full feature episode, which will be in the next day or so. Anyway, last stream I attempted to set up an ME system, which is over there. I've got like the bare bones of it running, and I also had to fix the fluid cows system because it apparently segments itself. If there's fluid in these pipes, like if you're looking at it, see there it says molten silver and there's like a little bit of a number. If I look at a different section, it has another little bit of a number, and the fluid actually is in every single pipe section at the same time. See, now it's empty. Well, if you go in and out of a dimension, or you hit save and quit and reload your game while there's fluid in these pipes, they tend to all separate from each other and hold on to their own little bit of liquid. So I took the pipes out, the regular temperate fluid ducts, and put in these super laminar fluid ducts to see if that would solve the problem. I also took out the entire bottom section of pipes to make this entire system shorter. It helps a little bit, but they still have that issue, so I'm pretty sure it's just a thermodynamics thing. I tried using the transfer nodes, but not the transfer nodes, the other one. Okay, so the transfer nodes, you know, pull from the inventory that they're attached to, and then they take whatever they get and push it through the pipes to the first available inventory or whatever. Well, there's this other thing called I think it's a retrieval. I've only got one. Oh, I made 4. Retrieval node, and that works in reverse. Whatever you have this thing attached to, it looks down the pipe system and pulls out items from each inventory and puts them into whatever you have this item attached to. So I was trying to use this more or less as a filter, the way I have filters set up here. The problem is, whenever I would filter a liquid with these, anything that was not that liquid, it would also accept and then just delete. So I tested it several different ways using different filters and things like that inside the node, and none of it worked. It kept doing it incorrectly, and it also took a bit longer to search through the entire system to find an item to bring to the tank. So these pipes are faster, but they break occasionally, so they're a little bit more of a hassle. But the other ones were deleting fluids, so I'll settle with these until I think of a better way to do it. I might use Ender IO pipes whenever I figure those out. I've never used them, but I get how they work. Another thing, you might hear some noise in the background. I recently, well, just like 30 minutes ago, got my AC in my bedroom fixed here. That's where I'm doing my recording. So if you hear my AC in the background, ignore it. It's keeping me cool, so then I don't have a fan blowing straight on the mic all the time. What else? I built a QED to make those request node things, the thing I was just talking about, retrieval nodes. I made a QED to make that. You have to use a QED to make those request nodes. Otherwise, I don't have use for this at the moment, but I will find one because I remember there being several things I use this for. Mostly ore smelting. You can get extra ore out of these. If you use like coal and ore, you get 3 at a time instead of 2 at a time like you would from a smeltery or a pulverizer. The cake generator's running full tilt. There's 2 more in here. I've got 61 end cakes. It also ends up creating extras of regular cakes, apples. There's a ton of apples in here all the time. See, there's a stack plus 15. It makes plenty of ender pearls, so I've been taking stacks of ender pearls out of here. There's always extra eggs in here, and there's usually a little bit of extra sugar also. So I'm getting extra ingredients out of this that aren't being used on the end cake. And just kind of sorting them away where they go. Alright, so every now and then I'll get a message or a comment on a video that says, hey, how do you do blank? And a lot of times it has to do with the basic controls for the game. For instance, if I'm looking through my ingot box here and I say I need 4 iron ingots, and I go up here, usually a lot of people do this, they pick up the whole stack and they go down here and they say 1, 2, 3, 4 by right clicking, right? Another way to do it, you can right click and get half, right click, get half, right click, get half, right click, get half. There's 4. That's like a really hassle way to do it. The way I tend to do it is put the mouse over it, and you can use the scroll wheel. You scroll up, and each tick that you scroll up, it pulls one of that item to your inventory from the chest or inventory that you're looking at. So that's an easy way to do it. If you scroll down, it puts that item back. And if you have the item in your inventory, it works the same way in reverse. You scroll up to deposit the items. So up is move it away, down is pull it back. So if you come up to your chest and you're like, oh, I only have half a stack of iron, let me go get the iron, and you don't want to look for the iron, you can just put the mouse right there and scroll down and it'll pull it out for you up to a stack. Also, let's see, I forgot who it was, but just yesterday or earlier today, this morning, somebody said, how did you take the entire inventory of a chest out of a chest with one click? So let's find a good one. So this chest here, actually let me put away my builder's wand. This chest here has a bunch of tools in it. If I want to take all the items, there's a couple ways to do it. You know how you can just like click and then click, and it like click picks up the item, click again to put it down. You can also shift click. It takes the item one at a time and just auto puts it in your inventory in the next available slot, starting at the bottom. You can also do like I did here. If you hold down shift and you click and drag, any item you drag your mouse over will get moved to the next inventory. So from here to here, or the other way around. So that is easy to do entire lines of items like that. To do the entire inventory, you hold down the space bar and left click once and it pulls the entire inventory. If you do that in your inventory, it takes everything that's not on your hotbar and attempts to put it in the chest that you're looking at, in the inventory you're looking at, but it does not stack those items with the ones that are already in the box. And I will have to demonstrate that somewhere else. Let's say right here. So let's say I've got 22 Minicio here, 21 over there. If I shift click, it adds them together in the lowest stack, correct? If I hold down spacebar and click, oh, maybe it does nowadays. Huh, I guess they changed that. Let me see. Let me take a few out. Shift click. Maybe I'm thinking of something else. Okay, I guess it does do that. Okay, ignore the thing I said. It used to not stack. It would be like, if you shift click here, it would just put it there, and then you would have to like do the sorting to recombine them into stacks. Anyway, if you want to craft lots of an item, you can like take a stack, you shift and or you click and drag to put an even amount of the item in each box. If you right click and drag, you get one of each in the box each time you go over it. Or you can just do the old-fashioned, you know, put a stack in each one until you want to, you know, whatever you want to do. You can shift and click and drag out of the crafting table, but not into it. It doesn't let you do any kind of shift or auto-clicking into the crafting tables. So whenever you get to this problem, you say, I want to make some lapis. I've got several stacks, so there's a click and drag to get an equal number. So each stack I know makes 7. So you want to do another one, so you should be at 14. That's correct. Well, instead of doing this 4 more times, you just put your mouse here and hit R. It shows you the recipes for lapis, including the one we have. Then you can shift click on this little question mark, and it fills in the entire crafting grid with the lapis essences, or any other item you're trying to make like a 3x3 out of. So you just walk over here, like quickly put together one, hit R, shift click, and you're done. And there's all of them. And then whatever you have left over, you can put back. So let's do redstone. The redstone I planted at the end of the last live stream yesterday because I needed a bunch of redstone for the ME system. Oh man, that's a lot. Alright, let me go empty this out. I needed a whole bunch of redstone and only had like a stack. So ended up planting like 3 extra redstone seeds in the crop farm here. That's why I've got a ton of redstone in there. Was that all of it? Yeah. So that's... Oh, let me just do that. There we go. Put those 7 back. Okay, I think I've got plenty of redstone now. Let's put all of it away. Take 1 stack back. Grab a stack of glowstone as well. And come down here. Okay, so here's what's going on. Right above this block here is a tesseract that's also powering that crafter that I'm using to make compressed cobblestone. The tesseracts are all receiving their power from the lava system I have over there. I've got my draw distance turned way down. Anyway, it's over there. Oh, let me show this off real quick. I doubled it up. I added a second set of crucibles, pyrotheum, and I changed out the fluid transfer nodes here with this super laminar fluid duct and resonant servos because they will move the lava faster. Anyway, so I've got 4 crucibles running non-stop now, making lava, and I added a 4th magmatic dynamo, and that's why the lava was draining, so I had to make more crucibles. So I've got 4 dynamos all pumping into these power cells, energy cells. I've got a resonant energy cell right here. This took like 2 days to fill. And the power from this is going out into this tesseract and that system there. And the tesseract will receive energy and transmit energy at any speed that it's receiving energy. So the max here is 32,000 RF per tick. That means all the tesseracts that are receiving power can receive 32,000 per tick total. They don't receive it each because this cell can only output 32,000 by itself. So that tesseract transmits 32,000 maximum total. Anyway, so there's a tesseract receiving power for the system here for the end cakes. There's one here for the AE system or the ME system, and it's also powering that crafter. And where did I put another one? The other one was over here with the rancher system with the fluid cows. Right there. I also built a chunk loader. It's a radius of 2 chunks centered right there. The laser circle-y thing is showing the area that it's keeping loaded at all times. So it's the entire cow field, the entire fluid system, and the used to be chicken pen and the sheep pen. And yeah, the entire ore collection thing there. And if I went 1 more radius out, I could catch the entire sifting process thing over here. But most of the time, I'm here in the overworld. Like when I'm AFK, I'll be standing like right there. So all of this is loaded anyway. The only time that this works when I'm not here is like if I'm in the nether. Let's turn this back off again. If I'm like in the nether or the end, like a different dimension, then it will not be loaded, and that chunk loader will keep this all loaded so it still runs, so I can still get ingots and fluids and stuff while I'm out of the dimension. Okay, so back to the AE system. So I basically took all of my applied energistics material, like all the quartz, all the fluix dust, everything I had, and put it in my inventory and started crafting things. And then I very quickly ran out of material. So the Tesseract is above this. It gives power to this energy acceptor. That's the thing that brings power into your system. And then there's the energy cell. This is actually a dense energy cell that you make out of 8 regular energy cells. So I went ahead and made it. That's like your battery for the system. It holds all the energy, and that has to be either adjacent to or connected with like a wiring to the energy acceptor to actually get power. And then all the stuff next to this is receiving power directly from this cell. So there's the ME drive. That's the slots where you put your storage drives. When you open that up, you can actually see the storage cells. So this is like a casing of a computer. That would be the power supply. That would be like your cable coming in from the wall. And then this little thing here would be like your hard drive. And then over here, that would be like the CPU, or the processor. And then this is your like keyboard mouse interface / monitor right there. And this terminal is for crafting material that's stored inside the system. And all these items here are stored inside that hard drive. So this whole thing is kind of set up like a computer. This other thing hanging off the bottom here is a charger for crystals. It's to make charged quartz out of regular quartz, and you have to use those for a couple of recipes, but not too many. A lot of the recipes that use charged quartz, you can also use regular quartz or fluix quartz for, or flux crystals. So I didn't really have to make but a couple of those, but I have it there just in case. And it only receives power from the top, so I've got it stuck on the bottom of the energy cell, so it receives power from the top. But so let's go ahead and throw these in there. Now if you add all these items up, get all the totals, and you look over here, this one little storage drive, the items added up should be 251, and that's that first number you see there, 251 of 1024. So I have a total of 251 individual items in the system, and I have a maximum of 1024. Now the total number of types of items is 63, and I have 22. So if we look here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So there's 22 different items, and I can have 63. That's how that readout works. So even if I have one kind of item in there, I can only have 1,000 of that item in there, 1,024. So that storage cell, that's the lowest one. That is the bare bones minimum storage cell. And I only made that one to put some stuff in the system so that I could use this as a easy way of crafting items for the system itself. But a lot of this is really complicated nested recipes, and I haven't done a lot of research on it yet. I just threw this together from what I've seen other people do. I haven't actually still done any research. So here soon I will actually do the research. I'll put the time in and do it. But like I said, I've been doing things out of the game the last couple days. And so I will get back to it, don't worry about it. One other thing that I gave out a pointer on in the live stream that I think a lot of people will benefit from, I was naming these fluid cows with name tags. Like, see, this one is bronze, so when I look at it, I don't have to look at the top of the screen. Like, while I'm aiming at him, it says bronze, this one is bedrockium, etc., etc., etc. And also, while they're named, with name tags, they won't despawn, because a couple of my cows actually despawned while I was standing here. So I named them to reduce the chances of them despawning. So far in the last few days, none of them have, and I'm pretty sure that's why, because now they're named, they're not just random animals. Another way to name them, and this is very handy, let's go to, okay, so empty Safari net. If you have a Safari net that does not have a, that has a cow in it without a name, let's go grab one of these guys, pick him up. When you're looking at the Safari net in your inventory, You can't tell what kind of cow that is. It's a fluid cow with 10 HP, okay, but you don't get any further detail. It could be anything, right? So this one that we know, we put him down, that's Resonant Ender, alright? Now if we come over here, we can get a name tag and name him Resonant Ender, or we can take it to an anvil and we can name it. We can name that Resonant Ender, and it will actually name the cow Resonant Ender, which I have done with several other fluid cows. Not Resonant Ender, of course, but like this one is Blood. That's my Blood cow. See, his name is Blood. When I pick him up, the Safari Net still says Safari Net, but it says at the bottom there, name Blood, so then I know exactly which cow this is. And I heard a rumor last night that if you take your Safari Net or any other item you want to rename and just put it in a tool forge or a tool station, that you can rename these without using experience, and I wasn't sure if that worked. Okay, so that renamed the Safari Net. We put the guy down, he has the name, awesome. Pick him back up, and yeah, it does exactly the same thing as using the anvil. Cool, that would have saved me a lot of levels. Not like I'm worried about it, I got experience on top of experience here. Speaking of which, let me dump some more off. And that's my second anvil, and it's ready to break. But anyway, so you can do it that way also, just as though the tool forge or tool station, I think it works with both. Just use them like they're an anvil, and you can rename any item, apparently. If anybody has a cool name to name my new sword, I made a Manilian Cleaver for straight up just damage. It's gotten a couple of new modifiers on it so far, like Smite and Bane of Arthropods and Knockback, and a little bit of Sharpness, which I will add to whenever it gets done. It's at Heroic tier, 99.71%. And I've been going into the Nether. Let me drop this cow off. I have been going into the Nether to use the Nether mob farm that I made as a grinder for my weapon experience. So let me go in there and knock this guy out real quick. What was the other thing I was going to talk about? This might have been it. This is about the last thing. I didn't do this on stream. I've done this since the last stream. That stream was only about 2 hours, and then I played some League of Legends for another 2 hours. And had a pretty good game, and then a okay game, and then a bad game. So I decided, yeah, there's only one person in the stream anyway, and I had some people like trying to get a hold of me to go out and do stuff. So I went ahead and took care of my outside of game things that had to happen. Alright, so this setup I probably showed off before. I've got the enclosed room here with the cursed earth, so mobs will spawn in there. I've got fans on either side. Unlike the mob farm I have in the overworld, what's going on here? Why am I on peaceful? Oh, I think I did that whenever I rebuilt this, so that stuff wouldn't be spawning and they're shooting me. Anyway, so the mobs get blown not only one direction like they did in the overworld, but they get blown in two directions toward the opposite corner. And I widened this out. I had it only like a 4x4. Now it's a 6x6, and there's a 3x3 in that corner there. That's taken out of it so that the larger magma cubes will actually fit into the hole. And I have them drop down to this lower area where I can kill everything. And there's also a little bit of cursed earth here in the bottom so that things can spawn down here in this area as well. I'm not too worried about them taking fall damage or any of that, because this cleaver, more or less, one-shots everything. And I still get all the experience. And then all the items are going to go right there, like so. I was going to try to catch, let's see, I brought an extra safari net. I was going to try to catch one of those little wisp guys, because I eventually want to make a mob spawner, and I also want to catch a ghast. So let me turn up this stuff so we can see. Actually, let me check the recording. What are we at? 25 minutes? Yeah, we're fine. I owe you guys a good 30 minutes of video, right? After like 2 days of nothing. Some of you haven't seen anything in more than 2 days because you didn't make the live streams. And I didn't do a review of the last one, but I didn't do too much anyway. Just kind of derped around trying to figure out how to get that AE system running. Anyway, where is that ghast? Ooh, a little bit of frame rate drop there. Any of these other mobs I don't really need for anything, but I would like to get some of those wisps, and I would like to get a ghast, if they're even catchable. I know the ghast is, not so sure about the wisp, and I don't even see any. Let's make our way around. I know they like spawn on the roof and go flying off, so they may have some kind of special spawning condition. Oh, that box right there, that cobblestone box right there, is where my blaze spawners are. The 5 that I moved to the overworld, after that episode, moved back because the magnum torch does not stop spawners like that, the actual mob spawners, from making mobs. And they were loud and annoying and shooting fireballs all over the place inside the room, even though they couldn't see me. And they almost burned up my entire cursed earth thing above it. I don't know how. They shouldn't be able to, but something happened. Anyway, so I went ahead and picked them all back up and moved them into here. So that's where they are. All 5 of them are right there. Anytime I need any kind of blazes. Oh, they're spawning outside of that too. There's a little bit more of a radius to those. Anyway, anytime I need more blaze stuff, that's where I'll come to get it. If not the actual multi-mob farm over there. Alright, things. Where are you? Ooh, this guy. What are you? I know it's a wither skeleton, but warped skeleton? Maybe let's grab him to make exact copies of. Warped skeleton, that's cool. Alright. Now let me go grab another safari net because I only brought one over here. Some of these more little special mobs I'm thinking I want to capture. Sorry. Had a little bit of an English fail there. Capture. I wanted to Cheshire them. Let's grab these. And I made a safari net launcher, that's this little gun right here, because some mobs you cannot just right click on with the safari net to pick them up. You actually have to launch the net at them and have it collide with them, which I think is the case with the wisps, because I was unable to grab one before, but I might not have been standing close enough to it. So we will find out. I've lost a couple of safari nets off into the void trying to do this already, but if you saw the chest I got these couple out of earlier in the overworld, you saw that I made quite a few extras. What's that guy there? Compressed zombie pigman. I will take one of those. There we go. Let me make sure it actually has the modifier. Compressed zombie pigman. Yes, it does. Alright. Wisp and ghast. Where are you? There's wisps right there. Let me try without the gun first. I'm probably going to get shot several times here. I've got to be close enough to him. I can see his health bar. Alright, with the gun. Totally missed him. Let me shoot down at one so I'm not shooting straight into the void. That didn't hit anything. They might not be capturable. Yeah, that bounced off of him, so these are not capturable. Good to know. Kind of annoying. because that is the only place to get these essences from. The ethereal essence is from these guys. And if I can't catch them and replicate them, then this is going to be a lot harder to gather these later. Oh well, I tried. The Safari net bounces off of them. So let's find a ghast in these last couple of seconds. Why is there a couple of dead things laying around? More blazes than I know what to do with. Dodge of fireballs. There was actually a ghast fireball that got stuck somewhere over there by the portal. It's just like hanging out in the air. And I was going to see if I could actually pick that up with a Safari net because it's an entity. I don't know what I would do with it, but it'd be interesting to hang on to. Just like, hey look, I have a fire charge in a ball in a Safari net. I saw a little bit of flicker there. I don't know if you guys can catch that. There's little tiny flickers. Ah, there we go. Here it is. I know if I punch this, it will actually go in whatever direction I punch, because I moved it from over there to over here. But I want to see if I get close enough to it. See, it says fireball. Can I Safari net? Nope, bounces off. And that was my last empty one, so. Alright, fireball. See you later. Into the void with you. I tried. So even though it is an entity, you cannot grab it because it, I guess, is not actually a mob. I don't know what the rules are specifically for the Safari nets, but apparently that doesn't work. That thing's been hanging out there for a while. Anyway, I guess I'll get a ghast later, but I want to make a mob spawner quite soon, and I want to try to make a couple of extra copies of these guys here. Maybe separate them all into their own pins, so I have like 4 iron cows, 4 manilian cows, 4 ender cows, you know, something like that. And increase production on some of these metals. Not that I need it, but just for something to do. There's my haul for the last 2 days. Oh, I changed the system up too, I don't know if I mentioned it. So, my Pokephinium cow despawned, so I've got a Need Poke cow here. The Elementium cow disappeared also, but I got a new one. It spawned over there, and I brought it over here. So these 12 nodes here now go into a crafter, one on each side, that then crafts the ingots into blocks, which are exported from the bottom and go into this diamond chest. The crafters are being powered from the outsides, and that power line is connected to the same line as the Tesseract that's powering the ranchers. So that's what that setup looks like underneath. There's the output from the crafters into the chest right there. Anyway, I think that's everything. We're at 33 minutes. If you see anything that looks different that I didn't cover, let me know. I'm not quite sure what else changed, but I think that was everything. I didn't do a whole lot. It's been a lot of AFK time waiting on farms to grow redstone, etc. But oh, I made a box for quartz, glowstone, redstone, and obsidian. I think that's it. Okay, now I think I'm done. Yeah. Achievement book, I ticked off a few things. Craft a chunk loader, done. Use energy conduits to power several machines. That doesn't mean any kind of power line type block, that means actual energy conduits. I've got those down here. They're right there. They are powering 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 machines at a time. So I went ahead and ticked that off the list. These are energy conduits from Ender.io. They work fairly well. I think QED might have been a achievement. Automating the fluid cows was an achievement. Making a storage thing might have been an achievement. Anyway, I'm slowly checking these off over time. If anybody knows how to hatch the dragon egg, let me know. I need to do that. Craft and power a generator. I made a culinary generator. It's right over there in the kitchen area. Putting power into a hardened energy cell, which is now almost full. Automate cobblestone into gravel, blah blah blah. Done, done. Crop harvesting, totally done. Link an ender pouch to a chest. We did that for our deep dark setup. Craft chunk loader, done. Automate storage of ore dust from a sieve, which is this entire system right there. I did that a while ago, so I checked that off. Process sieve materials into ingots. We've been doing that for a long time. And then after that we get into reactors and magical mods that I haven't got into yet. So, yeah, now I'm done. Again, question mark. Good enough. Anyway, so, till next time, leave a like, leave some comments, add me on Twitter, follow me there so you get updates. You'll know when I'm live streaming if you hit me up on twitch.tv/legendshift. Look me up on there, you'll see the logo, you'll know that one's me. I don't have any videos or streams saved on there yet, but I will do that eventually so that people can go there to catch whatever they missed in live streams. But, so, until next episode, you guys have a good day, and I will see you then.